I want to discuss now Russian state TV. And it was labeled as them praising Trump, which is always chilling. And that's kind of like the second half of it, where they're really hyped about some of his recent actions, attacking the First Amendment. So I'll translate that. And then at the beginning, let me show you this one host. I don't know his name. Let's call him John. I bet his name's John. John is always the one we see on this Russian TV channel. And me and him have had some real bitter clashes. I'm his biggest rival. He doesn't know it yet, but I would say maybe he's seen the segment. Maybe so. Where I don't like him at all. Along with what his entire government is doing right now. So that kind of contributes. But I'll play for you this. Bear with me because it is really chilling what they're talking about, but it's just a little slow moving because we have to read these captions. Here we go. He saved the world. They're talking about Trump. And they're still not giving him the Nobel Prize, says Sam. Let's give him a Nobel Prize from us. We can mint a cast iron medal. We can totally do it. So that's Ralph making a joke. Sorry, that's just funny. Did you... Nah. What we see in relations between what Trump did with Azerbaijan and Albania. Azerbaijan and Albania. Didn't he stop this conflict? He did. So that's them referencing that recently Trump tried to tout that he got a peace deal between a country called Azerbaijan and a country called Albania. When in reality, he is trying to talk about and misstating his participation in Azerbaijan and Armenia. So they're kind of making fun of him for that. But again, John here gets actually supportive of Trump later on. Right now, they're kind of making fun of Trump, but later he actually, in a really scary fashion, co-signs what Trump is doing on something. So I guess one of the actions is Sidorov. His political declarations did not succeed. His most important one was his meeting with Putin. They did succeed. Hold on a minute. I agree that he is a huckster. No, just a minute. Our Trumpushka is being mistreated. If we talk about what Trump did with foreign policy, he didn't succeed with the claims that he made. As far as being a huckster, I won't deny that. Definitely. You're not wrong to love our Trump. Our Trump. You have to overcome yourself. Listen, it's not that I don't love him. I fear him. Oh, that's good. Because this man can lead to any turn of events, says one of them. This is dialogue. It's going to be confusing to follow, but we'll get to the more clear part in a second here. Because at night, Trump something, what kind of questions are you asking? The way he did with the Australian journalist. He asks an Australian, what kind of questions are you asking? So now they're praising his banter with the press. I'll come there soon. I'll tell him about you. What kind of questions are these? Trump is doing very well. He didn't like a show and he said, get rid of it. It has low ratings. The second time he said, get rid of him too, Kimmel. There is your real free American press, protected by a constitutional amendment. So he says, let me fire all of them. I also like it that he will send federal forces into all major cities. He will, but this is principally different. He said, I don't like him, fire him. Why did the company go ahead and fire him? Trump can express his opinion as a viewer. America is moving away from its fundamental principles. Yeah. Did you hear that? They're gleefully on Russian Kremlin mouthpieces are proudly proclaiming, your great American First Amendment. We love that Trump went, I don't like this person, fired. America's moving away from its fundamental principles. They say. That should scare us. That's the moment that we're in, where even our adversaries are rooting on what Trump's doing because they know it's destructive for what we're supposed to stand for. They know that they can further their goals more if America and its pillars of democracy, of individual rights, of these principles like First Amendment crumble. All of a sudden, the argument that the world order should be structured around the United States, that our values should influence the world in this major way, that the international connections that we've fostered are valuable not just because of our power, but our principles, that argument becomes a lot weaker if we don't stand much for those principles. And all of a sudden, it's just whatever in the short term is to your advantage, make those agreements. Because that has been how we've leveraged our stature on the world stage to our benefit a lot. Obviously, we just are really militarily and economically powerful. So a lot of relationships have been fostered just with that recognition. But there is, in some of the international organizations and initiatives that we've been at the forefront of, this global, from a lot of countries, acknowledgement that we were representing something better than a country like Russia, that our government stood for certain principles, thus aligning with it would align you with certain principles that were good morally, even, if we failed at that many times. And so now you have John here, hyped that, and I don't mean to disparage whatever his Russian name is. I just don't know it, so I picked a random name. You get it. Shut up. Why am I? What? Who even was thinking of that? Well, actually, take it down. Maybe no. They don't have. He's thinking it's not just that we have this adversary relationship. The Kremlin has invested a bunch in trying to destabilize the United States for their reasons, but that all becomes a whole heck of a lot easier if the world doesn't see the United States as standing for anything special. Because now, he literally in a mocking tone, they said, your First Amendment, your amazing First Amendment. Now Trump's just calling for people to be fired, and we love it. And he's making media companies bend to his will, much like a Putin would, as opposed to respecting the right to put out the content they want. So that's scary, I guess, is my takeaway. That is today's show. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. I appreciate all of you a lot. Podcast listeners, don't forget to rate and review, and I'll talk to you all next time.